on chapter 2 of the 7th canto, where we have seen the introduction of Hiranyakashipu, who is extremely angry about Hiranyaksha getting killed by Lord Vishnu, and he is, as everybody else, thinking Lord Vishnu is partial to the demigods. Yeah, whereas he says Lord Vishnu should be, he himself says that uh, he should be is same to everybody, or he is rather same to everybody, but looks like he has been influenced by the demigods, is what he feels. He feels that Lord Krishna is so easily influenceable. Yeah, that he will give up his samoham sarva bhuteshu stance. But that is not the case, as we can see, and we've understood it in the previous chapter called Lord Krishna is equal to everyone. Here also, he also accuses Lord Vishnu of being a child. And just as a child has, very fickle memory, or rather fickle brain, where he jumps from this place to that place, he thinks Lord Vishnu is also like that. And therefore, he says he decides to kill Lord Vishnu, because then Lord Vishnu, who is the root of all the demigods, they will, just like a root, when it's killed, the entire tree gets withered away. Same way, the demigods will also wither away, is what he thinks. And with that, he wants to uh, proceed. So let's see what does he do in shloka number 10. Yes, Soumya Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. तावध्याथ भुवं यूयं ब्रह्मक्षत्रसमेधितां सूदयध्वं तपो यज्ञस्वाध्याय व्रतदानिनः.
Very nice.
While I am engaged in the business of killing Lord Vishnu, go down to the planet Earth, which is flourishing due to Brahminical culture and a Kshatriya government. These people engage in austerity, sacrifice, Vedic study, regulative vows, and charity. Destroy all the people thus engaged.
So that's what he's telling all of his people, that I will go and get busy in killing Lord Vishnu. Whereas what all of you other Danavas, what you should do, you should go to the planet Earth and basically kill the entire Brahminical culture, because he thought that Lord Vishnu was getting power because the Brahmanas were doing prayers and offerings to Lord Vishnu. He thought Lord Vishnu was just also another demigod who gets his power from the various yagyas that are being done. Yeah. And he says, kill the Kshatriya government, kill Brahminical culture. Basically, Varnashram Dharma is being destroyed, is being asked to destroy by Hiranyakashipu, because he knows once Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas are killed, then the entire society will just get destroyed. Yeah. And that's what here Lord Vishnu Srila Prabhupada also mentions that the four Varnas, Chatur Varna Maya system created by Lord, here the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas are basically the mind and the arms, yeah, of the Yuga Purusha. Yeah, and when these two are destroyed, the Yuga will get destroyed, is what the understanding here is. Yeah, so we see this. What do the Brahmanas basically engage in? They are engaging in cultivating peacefulness, self-control, titiksha, satyam, saucham, arjavam. We've seen this in the 13th or 14th chapter about what the Brahmanas do. Same thing with the Yagya, with the Kshatriyas. They engage in organizing various austerity sacrifices so that people are happy. Yeah. So yeah, and that's what here the Kshatriyas arrange for all the yagyas, and the Brahmanas execute the yagyas, and therefore everybody is happy because yajna bhavati parjanya. We've seen the cycle of sacrifice in the third or fourth third chapter. The concept of the cycle of sacrifice is mentioned, where the entire flourishing of the people happens because of the sacrifices being conducted by the populace. So that is what he says. Okay, if these sacrifices are stopped, then Lord Vishnu, he thought, will get weakened and I will be able to kill him. Yeah. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada discusses the cycle of sacrifice, and he talks about the offering back to the demigods, all of the yagyas that are being done. Yeah. That's what is the understanding that he has. Yeah. And here Srila Prabhupada talks about different types of yagyas that are being done, which are applicable for the Kali Yuga, is basically the offering of the or the chanting of the holy names. Yeah, so further point also Shri mentions again about the cycle of sacrifice, how grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, and sugar, all of these come in because of the sacrifices that are conducted, and these basically form the basis of the mode of goodness. Yeah, and as long as there is this mode of goodness through the offering of yajna, through the various brahmanas being present, life will continue. Whereas as soon as this is stopped, he knew that the entire cycle, entire society will collapse. That's the point Srila Prabhupada makes here. Yeah, and again he kind of concludes that particular discussion about Sankirtan Yagya. Yeah. So that's what the entire crux of the story is. Hiranyakashipu planned to kill the inhabitants of earth so that Yagya would stop. Yeah, and the demigods automatically would get killed because Vishnu, who was the Yagyapati, he will get, yeah, not nourishment. He will not get nourishment. That is what his thought was. Okay, let's read further. How does he plan to execute this? Yeah, Prashant Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. विष्णुर्द्विजक्रियामूलो यज्ञो धर्ममयः पुमान् देवर्षिर्पितृभूतानां धर्मस्य च परायणम्.
Very nice.
The basic principle of Brahminical culture is to satisfy Lord Vishnu, the personification of sacrificial and ritualistic ceremonies. Lord Vishnu is the personified reservoir of all religious principles, and he is the shelter of all the demigods, the great pitas, and the people in general. When the Brahmanas are killed, no one will exist to encourage the Kshatriyas to perform yajnas, and thus the demigods not being appeased by yajna will automatically die.
That's the crux of the plan. Srila Prabhupada refers to the understanding that Hiranyakashipu also had. Yeah? He was a very learned man. And he knew that Vishnu is a central point of Brahminical culture. Yeah, and if that Brahminical culture is destroyed, then the entire society will fall. That's the point again, gets repeated here. The exact point that how Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, when they are not there, all of the Brahminical rituals will get stopped, and that will cause the fall down of the entire populace. And that is what is happening today in the Kali Yuga. And therefore, the saying is Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Yeah, that in the Kali Yuga, everything is just because of Shudras, all the Brahminical culture is slowly getting lost. Yeah, and Kali Yuga, mostly everybody will be Shudras only. And therefore, the important objective which Srila Prabhupada took up, yeah, as his mission is to establish, revive Brahminical culture. Yeah, and one of the most important considerations Srila Prabhupada's mission is, of course, he wanted to establish Varnashram Dharma, but the entire Varnashram Dharma can only be established, yeah, once you start off with creating a Brahminical culture. Then his plan was to create Kshatriyas, then his plan was to create proper Vaishyas, and then various Shudras, also all targeted towards Vishnu worship. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it is a very, very long process. Even Brahminical, getting everybody at a Brahminical level itself is a challenge. But the easier process is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Yeah, we have to just follow the process as mentioned. Yeah, so that's what he says. This Brahminical culture will come in because of increment in demoniac population. People have lost Brahminical. Nor is there a Kshatriya government. Yeah, unfortunately, the Shudras are ruling here also. And therefore, the effects of Kali Yuga, we will see this. In the 12th canto, it says, Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasau. The government will adopt policies of Dasyu, the plunderers. Government itself is plundering everybody. And the corruption that we see is nothing but the government taking money from the people itself. That's the point Srila Prabhupada makes, and therefore, what can be the revival method? The revival method, he says, only by chanting the Mahamantra. Yeah, and once we start off with this Mahamantra, then automatically the Vipras or the Brahminical culture will automatically come up. He refers to his Brahmanda Purana. Viprayajnadi Moolam tu Harityasuram Matam Harir Eva hi Sarvasya Moolam Samyan Mator Nrupa. That, O king, the demons think that Hari, Lord Vishnu, exists because of Brahmanas and Yajna. But factually, the cause of everything, including Brahmana and Yajna, is Lord Hari himself. And so, as usual, the demoniac, being in ignorance, he has misunderstood the entire cycle here. He thought the Yagyas give nourishment to Vishnu, whereas it's the other way around. Okay, so that's the misunderstanding of Hiranyakashipu. Let's see how far does he go in his misunderstanding. Next one. Yeah, Pawan Prabhuji can read this one.
Hare Krishna. Yatra yatra dvija gavo veda varna shram kriya tat tat janpad yat san
Tam
jan
tam
janpad
tam janpadam
janpadam yat sandipyat vrashit
vrishchata.
vrashita.
Yeah, very nice.
Translation: immediately go wherever there is good protection for the cows and brahmanas, and wherever the Vedas are studied in terms of varnashrama principles. Set fire to those places and cut from the roots the trees there, which are the source of life. Hare Krishna.
So wherever Brahminical culture and Vedic knowledge is being distributed, Hiranyakashipu wanted to get that destroyed. Srila Prabhupada therefore talks about the entire basis of human civilization is to get a properly set of trained Brahmanas. Yeah, because the trained Brahmanas then ensure Kshatriyas rule wisely, yeah, and the Vaishyas are governed properly, and the Shudras work for the Vaishyas so that everybody is happy. Yeah, unfortunately, when the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are destroyed, automatically everything gets destroyed. So how to identify? That is the point that here Hiranyakashipu is saying. Find out wherever cows and Brahmanas are being protected. Yeah, that place you destroy first. Find out where Vedas are being taught. That place you destroy. That is the point that. So therefore, it is very important to support Brahminical culture that these two aspects need to be very, very nicely protected. One, go Brahmanya Hitayacha. Brahmanas and cows need to be nourished and taken care of. Yeah, and ensure Vedas or the school of Vedas where Varnashrama principles are taught, those are funded properly. Yeah, and those, especially now it's all temples. Unfortunately, the Right to Education Act has destroyed teaching of Hindu culture. So it's all left to the temples and left to some of these teaching institutions. They need to be protected. They need to be supported. That's what here Srila Prabhupada is begging for all of us. That what is the sign of demoniac civilization? No support to all of these. Cows themselves are being killed and eaten. Yeah, all of those need to be stopped. Yeah. So that's the point. Srila Prabhupada argues very nicely how ISKCON literature is a very important consideration. Yeah, that literature, especially like what even we are reading, all of that comes from the fantastic work that has happened by our Vedic culture. Okay, let's read further. Yeah, Rashmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Iti te bhratra nirdeshamada iti te bhratra nirdeshama adaya shirasadritaha tatha prajanam kadanam vidadhu kadana priyaha.
Very nice.
Thus the demons, being fond of disastrous activities, took Hiranyakashipu's instructions on their heads with great respect and offered him obeisances. According to his directions, they engaged in envious activities directed against all living beings. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so all the Danavas and Daityas who were under the beck and command of Hiranyakashipu went and started the destruction of all the populace. And Srila Prabhupada explains the word Kadana Priyaha. Kadana Priya, Kadana means to kill those who like killing. And especially they are envious of feeble citizens and therefore they act. And we've seen in the 16th chapter divine and demoniac natures, where the demoniac are described how their entire purpose is to give everybody trouble. Okay, that's what they started to do. Let's read what happens further. Yeah, Manish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Uragrama Urajodhyana Kshetra Ramasramakaran Kheta Karvata Gosamcha
Goshams. Yeah.
Dadahu Pattanani cha.
Very nice.
Translation. The demons set fire to the cities, villages, pasturing grounds, cow pen, garden, cultural fields, and natural forest. They burned the hermitage of the saintly person, the important mines that produce valuable metal, the residential quarters of the agriculturalists, the mountain villages, and the villages of the cow protectors, the cow herdmen. They also burned the government capitals.
So they all started this destruction, and especially as directed by him, wherever cow protection and Brahminical culture was flourishing, that was destroyed. Srila Prabhupada refers to one other aspect. He says, why the flowers and trees and all of those were destroyed? Because then the offering to Lord Krishna will stop. Lord Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yume Bhaktya Prayachati. Yeah, that if you offer with love and devotion, a leaf, flower, fruit, and water, he will accept it. Now, if that itself is destroyed, all the leaf, water, then nothing can be given. Yeah. So therefore, if our only duty is to please the Supreme Lord, then this becomes a very powerful method of pleasing the Supreme Lord by offering Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Yeah, and therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying that if you want to re-establish the culture, then the government needs to ensure Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam happens properly. Yeah, that's the point. He says that the government, indeed the entire society, should be structured in such a way that everyone can be trained to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unfortunately, nobody is teaching that. And all we are teaching everybody is to become a demon and enjoy sense gratification. So that's what Kali Yuga has come up to, just exactly like Hiranyakashipu wanted to bring about quite earlier on in the Satyuga itself. Okay, let's read further. Yeah, Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna. केचित् खनित्रैर्विविधुभिः सेतु प्राकार गोपुरान् आजीव्यांश्चिच्छिदुर्वृक्षान् केचित् पाणयः प्रादहन् शरणान्यैके प्रजानां ज्वलितोल्मुखैः.
Very nice.
Some of the demons took digging instruments and broke down the bridges, the protective walls, and the gates, gopuras of the cities. Some took axes and began cutting the important trees that produced mango, jackfruit, and other sources of food. Some of the demons took firebrands and set fire to the residential quarters of the citizens.
So that's this description of all of these demoniac activities that got carried out by the demons. Srila Prabhupada refers to how trees should be protected also. Yeah, and he says that any tree that produces nice fruits for the maintenance of the people should not be cut at all. And that's a Shastric injunction, he says. Especially mango, jackfruit trees he refers to, which are never to be cut down. Okay, let's read further. Yeah, Srinivasan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Srinath, go ahead.
you called me.
Yeah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Evam viprakrite loke daityendranujarair muhu divam deva pratiyajya vicherulalikshitah.
Very nice.
Thus disturbed again and again by the unnatural occurrences caused by the followers of Hiranyakashipu, all the people had to cease the activities of Vedic culture. Not receiving the results of Yajna, the demigods also became disturbed. They left their residential quarters in the heavenly planets and, unobserved by the demons, began wandering on the planet Earth to see the disasters. Hare Krishna.
So the great disaster has struck planet Earth, and obviously the demigods, unable to sustain themselves because of the lack of yagyas, wanted to personally come down and see. So they all started to come down as to how the disturbances was being done by the demigods, so that they could check the activities of the demigods. Let's see what happens further. Yeah, Anand, can read? Yeah, go ahead.
भ्रातु सम्परेतस्य दुःखितः कृत्वा कटोदकादीनि भ्रातृ पुत्रान् सान्त्वयन्. After performing the ritualistic observances for the death of his brother Hiranyakashipu, being extremely unhappy, tried to pacify his nephews.
So Hiranyakashipu, basically, he is trying to pacify the sons of Hiranyaksha. Yeah, saying that it's this is how basically he was trying to help them. Okay, let's see what does he do further. Yeah, Chaya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. शकुनिं शम्बरं धृष्टिं भूतसन्तापनं प्रक्रं कालनाभं महानाभं हरिश्म श्रुमथोत्कचं तन्मान्तरं रुषाभानुं दितिं च जह्नीं गिरा श्लक्षण्या देशकालज्ञ इदमाह जनेश्वर.
Very nice.
Translation. O king, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry, but since he was a great politician, he knew how to act according to the time and situation. With sweet words, he began pacifying his nephews, whose names were Shakuni, Sambara, Drishti, Bhuta Santapana, Vark, Kalankabha, Mahanabha, Harishamru, and Utkacha. He also consoled their mother. His sister-in-law, Rushabhanu, as well as his own mother, Diti, he spoke to them all as follows.
So Hiranyakashipu, being angry about the death of Hiranyaksha, he wanted to pacify all the people who were grieving. So Hiranyakashipu, let's see what does he say. Yeah, Santosh Rupaji.
Hare Krishna. Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha Ambaba he Vadhu Putra Viram Maharatha Sochitam Ripora Mukhe Shaladhya Surana Pada Isprasatya.
Ipsitaha. Very nice.
Hiranyakashipu said, my dear mother, sister-in-law and nephews, you should not lament for the death of the great hero. For a hero's death in front of his enemy is glorious and desirable.
So obviously unknown to Hiranyakashipu, being killed by the Lord in the boar form, Hiranyaksha already had liberation. So he was already a very great person in that sense. But obviously, everybody did not know that getting killed by the great Lord in the form of a boar was actually a means of liberation. They all thought that, oh, he's been killed so mercilessly, and therefore I have to kill the killer, is what Hiranyaksha wanted to say. Okay, great. So let's stop there for the day. Any quick comments on all of this? Yeah, Shriyasampu, go ahead.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji. This is similar to Sri Vritra Suravacha. So Sri Hiranyakashipu.
Sri, yeah.
Sri is given. So probably he's going to give some.
Goswami. Yeah, Shukdev Goswami, obviously we have to understand that Shukdev Goswami knew that is actually, even though he's Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu and Vritrasur, they were all very great souls who had, so I think Shukdev Goswami, again, we have to understand also how Shukdev Goswami is also not in duality. Yeah. So he gives equal respect to the demons, equal respect to the demigods. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. No? Obviously, Shukdev Goswami is considered to be the greatest of the orators. For Shravanam, for Kirtanam, it is Shukdev Goswami, who is the idol of the. So obviously, if such a great devotee, he cannot act, yeah, in that partial manner, isn't it? So that's the understanding. And again, it's learning for all of us also. We also need to, we might be considering somebody as the greatest of enemy, but all respects have to be given because the super soul also resides in them. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prashant, you had a point?
Prabhuji, even Prabhupada is out of duality, obviously. In the title also we noticed King of Demons, D with a capital. So again, why does he use the D with capital?
Yeah, very nice, very nice observation. Yes, sorry, another had a point?
Is it observed like in the society they give the titles? The Shri is we have seen mostly to the Grahastha. The male member of the Grahastha is mentioned as Shri. Is it? I mean, not to any other. I have seen this the title given. So in that sense, these were also the Grahasthas because the mention of the nephews and all is there. So I think is it related to that he being a Grahastha or householder personality, male personality? That's why it's written Shri. It's just my doubt. I want to just check. Is it so?
Actually, yeah, that's a good observation. But if you can see, Vritrasura was not a Grahastha, but he is still mentioned as Shri there also. So in that sense, I think the aspect that Shukdev Goswami is not in duality and gives equal respect to everybody probably is a better understanding. But you're right, maybe the Shri here, Shri and Shrimati is already always given to Grahasthas and Grihinis. Maybe that also could be a reason. But then that aberration still holds that Vritrasura is also given Shri Vritrasura Vach. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Chaya Mataji had a point, go ahead. No. Okay, great.
In Vishnu Sahasranam also, we never say Shri Bhishma Vacha. It comes as Bhishma Vacha. So probably there, married or unmarried makes a difference there.
Possible. Interesting. Yeah, but even Vritrasura was not married.
Then they will call me two Sris probably when they address me.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's then close with closing prayer. Yes, Samya Mataji, please do closing prayer.
Hare Krishna. अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राण बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता अहमेवासमेवाग्रे नान्यत् यत् सदसत्परं पश्चादहं यदेतच्च यो वसिष्येत सोऽस्म्यहं हृते अर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यातात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम् एतावदेव जिज्ञास्यं तत्त्वजिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यस्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.